MacCleod. Thanks for tuning into this edition of Cal Poly Spotlight. Today's special report takes an in-depth look at recidivism, or the rate of prisoner re-entry into the criminal justice system after a criminal has been released from jail. In the United States, 40% of ex-convicts will commit a crime that lands them back in jail within just 3 months of being released for the first offense. Across the country, over 70% of ex-convicts will recidivate within a year, and it's not just adults. Experts say more than 80,000 Americans under the age of 18 are also serving time, and their rate of recidivism ranges from 50 to 80%. But there is good news. There are programs designed to help reintroduce criminals into society, and research shows they work. Here on the Central Coast, Restorative Partners is doing its best to bring down the rate of recidivism and to help people impacted by crime.
Led by Sister Teresa Harpin, Restorative Partners is an organization that aims to heal all those impacted by crime. They believe in a restorative justice approach, which focuses on working with everyone involved in a crime, from the victims to the offenders.
An offender has always been a victim first. There's very few people who just wake up one day and I'm gonna go steal something. No, it doesn't work like that.
Joseph Andino is a sociology major at Cal Poly. He works as a juvenile hall administrative assistant for Restorative Partners, running the book club and tutoring program. He says most offenders just need someone to talk to.
When they're in a better mood, when they're happy, when they feel supported, they feel loved, you're going to do a lot better, A loved person is going to do a lot better in school, going to do a lot better on the outside. Someone who feels they're supported, there's resources there for them, their relationships.
Joe has been with the organization since it was founded 2 years ago, and to him, it doesn't feel like a job.
I just love it. It's my life's work, it's my life passion. I'm so lucky that I found this and that I get to do this, while in school. I found my career path early on, and I'm so lucky and so happy that I've got it.
Joe says one of the best moments he's had with the organization was after he read a story about a basket of crabs, where if one crab would try to leave, the rest would bring him back in. He says that analogy relates perfectly to the criminal world.
The system will pull you back in. You try to escape. Even they won't let one person succeed. And so we've been reading that book, and we've talked to the kids about that. And I guess what happens is one of the kids said to me, I don't feel like a crab when you talk to me. I feel like a person.
And it's not just book clubs that help inmates get back to normal life. The program offers everything from dental services and yoga classes to job readiness and life skills classes. A number of the organization's staff members also act as facilitators for the Alternatives to Violence program, which also seeks to show inmates that they have a support system.
It gives them a way to communicate. A lot of kids have trouble communicating, that whole use your words, not your fists. Well, with them, they really have to learn how to communicate, and they've only seen violence, and that's how they see everything that's taught. When they get in trouble, they're hit. When they want to get something, they have to steal it, take it.
Joe says at the end of the day, it's important to remember that criminals are still people.
Some of those kids just feel like they're just being dragged down by everyone, and they don't feel any purpose or hope. They just feel weak. So we want to help them get out of the basket. They're people, they're kids.
Restorative Partners is always looking for volunteers. If you're interested in helping out or learning more, just visit restorativepartners.org. Coming up after the break, he spent 38 years in the criminal justice system, and thanks to the Alternatives to Violence program, he's been out for 5 years. Hear Willie's story. Stay tuned.
Okay, when I give you the signal, you two cut left to the flag. I'm gonna cover you from that tree over there. Remember, don't go for the flag unless you know the coast is clear, okay?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
So this is my computer?
This is your computer. Let's go on the internet.
Let's go. Click it.
Yes.
Okay.
I cursor in between the R and the E. When I say dot, I want you to just push the period.
She's gonna love me all over again.
That's it. Jamaica, here you come.
Here we go.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. And I did it by myself. Feel smarter.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Ready or not, here I come.
Take time to be a dad today.
Daddy, I'm gonna find you.
And we're out.
You got plans?
You bet. $50 million Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me.
What's going on?
Dinner. Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna get the plates.
Plates?
Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
There's a place, not so far away. A place where you don't have to keep the volume down. Or clean up your room. A place where you don't have to make time for free time. You don't have to do anything but show up. You'll find all sorts of creatures in this place without have to. The silly you. The proud you. You may even meet the curious you.
Tickling me.
You!
There are lots of views to catch up with. Ask your parents to take you to this not-so-far-away place. Come to the forest, where the other you lives. But first, stop by discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to this edition of Cal Poly Spotlight. I'm Lindsay MacCleod. Nationally, over 70% of ex-convicts will commit a crime that lands them back in jail within just 1 year of them being released. Prison overpopulation is a huge problem that hurts everyone. Huge amounts of taxpayer dollars go towards housing prison inmates. But there are some organizations who aim to help these inmates readjust to society so they aren't forced to return to crime. The Alternatives to Violence program is a national organization aimed at helping current inmates confront their issues so they're less likely to return to jail. A San Luis Obispo resident named Guillermo spent 38 years in the criminal justice system before he was released in 2008, and he says the Alternatives to Violence program changed his life. This is his story.
He was a member of the Mexican Mafia. He helped kill a man. He spent 38 years in the criminal justice system, but today he's a changed man. Guillermo, known by his friends as Willie, is a graduate of the Alternatives to Violence program at the California Men's Colony. The program, he says, saved his life.
It wasn't until that workshop that I experienced the feeling, something deep inside. One of the exercises helped me to realize the enormity of what I had done.
Willie enrolled in the 22-hour workshop after a friend recommended it. It was there that he and 20 other men would discover themselves.
These guys were crying. They finally were able to let go of their masks and be human beings and not be afraid of expressing deep feelings. And for me, it was the first time that I had ever truly experienced remorse.
He says it was also the first time he experienced forgiveness.
This lady that was relating the exercise to us had said that she had had a son killed in a robbery. And yet here she was bringing love to us.
Willie says the program works because it creates a safe environment for inmates to be themselves and confront their issues while transcending the racial barriers so common in the criminal justice system.
There were blacks, whites, Mexicans, Asians in there that might see each other but generally weren't sidekicks. In the course of the workshop, people that wouldn't talk to the guy next to them were holding conversations. Somewhere along the line, they forgot the old conditioning about stick to your own race, and they became a community. We became a community.
5 years later, Willie is out of the criminal justice system, yet still very much involved in it.
Someone from AVP contacted me, asked me if I wanted to help with a workshop at the San Luis Obispo County Jail Honor Farm, and I said, sure.
He assisted in the same 3-day workshop that helped him, but he chose not to reveal his past until the final day.
And I'd let them know I had spent 38 years in prison, that I was no different from them, yet I knew that it was possible to change and that it's never too late.
In his spare time, he attends Cuesta College, taking art classes, a skill he developed while serving time. His art tells stories about his experiences in jail.
This is, there's the gun tower.
He would draw everything from his friends to his cell.
But this is just what the cell looks like from, the toilet is right there and I'm sitting on the toilet just drawing the rest of it. TV shelf, radio, you have a little desk right there with the radio.
He even used it as a way of envisioning himself outside of jail, especially when he would draw Bishop Peak.
I've climbed Bishop Peak so often now and looked down at the prison and said hi to the old friends.
To him, art was freeing.
That's me flying, because I learned to become free in prison.
Guillermo is part of a theater group called Poetic Justice. All of the members are ex-convicts who have committed to staying out of jail. They reenact their experiences in jail in hopes of deterring local youth from getting into crime. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Cal Poly Spotlight. You can view the full show on mustangdaily.net. Have a great night.